be anything you want, baby, let me change your life. You ought to be anything, baby, I can.
Hello my loves, so today's video means a lot to me. I had an Instagram page reach out to me, the Teen Love Project, and it was with these three amazing girls, Jillian, Malia, and Erika. Basically, their whole project and profile was to spread awareness about toxic relationships or just toxicness in general, like in the household or in the LGBTQ community. And so they asked me to be in an interview, and they interviewed me, and they just sent me the interview, and I just wanted to share you guys with it, and hopefully that this video and this interview will help some of you guys. I'm very excited to show it to you guys. So enjoy.
I'm Jillian.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I'm Erika. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
And I'm Malia.
I'm TJ.
Our project for school, like our teen love / mental health, everything.
Mhm.
Just covering the subject, like how emotionally like draining it could be to like not know what love can be at like adolescence age.
Okay, yeah, I can totally speak on that. It's like I don't know if you guys have questions or anything.
I can ask you questions. I have
Okay.
questions here. Okay, so first of all, who are you? You can explain who you are, what you
Okay.
do.
Okay. I'm TJ. I don't want to say that I'm TikTok famous, but you know, I have a lot of followers on TikTok. But you know, I'm just a normal girl, military child. I was born in Germany. I live in San Diego, California. I just play basketball. I do normal things that a normal teenager does.
So like, what do you think about like teen relationships / like teen toxic relationships?
Oh, okay. So obviously, like a lot of parents, they're just like, you know, you're too young, like you don't need to know what love is, like focus on yourself. But in my experience, like I think I'm grateful at least that I went through like, you know, something toxic, that I went through a relationship while I was young, because now I feel like I'm more mature. I know what to look for. I learned about my mental health. I learned more about my self-confidence. Um, like even just talking to my friends that are going through relationships, like it I feel like it's better if you go through that pain now and while you're still young, because you know, then you can see the growth as you grow up.
So since you've been through like a toxic relationship, I don't know if you would want to talk about it or anything.
Yeah,
It's up to you.
totally can. Okay. So I started dating this guy in the 8th grade, and we met through basketball. You know, everything was great and he treated me right, but during our 3 years together, it started to become, you know, very toxic. Communication wasn't very well, comprehension wasn't very well. Things started to become controlling. You know, I started losing myself, he started like, you know, losing himself also, and it was just constantly bickering. And I remember the nights like I would come home and just like cry my eyes out, cry to my mom. Sometimes I didn't even want to talk to my parents because, you know, I started distancing myself from my family and all that stuff. And then um, it went downhill because he did cheat on me. And like I found that out and it broke me, it did. But after that, when like I left after 3 years of on and off. um I was mentally down for a while, but I started to realize, you know, like you need to pick your head up. You need to do what you need to do. You need to focus on yourself, because you know, you at the end of the day, you only have yourself. Like you control your life. So I started going out with friends. I started becoming more closer to my family. I started looking in the mirror and seeing myself and saying like, you know, you're beautiful. Like you don't need nobody to be happy. Because I was very codependent. I was very codependent on my person. I depended on him for my happiness. I depended on him for my successes. I depended on him when I was like going through family problems or whatnot. So when we broke up, I had to learn by myself, like, you can make yourself happy. You don't need nobody. So I think that itself, just finding your mental health and finding yourself from that toxic situation, like, that's like the whole important part. And
That's like a
then,
really rough journey.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Like,
it's
I can't imagine.
yeah, and that's not even the hard part itself, because, even though I'm so young and I do get into a new relationship, or I do like find somebody new, you still have those trust issues. You still have those like overthinking, like, oh my God, is this person gonna do this to me again? Or like, oh my God, is like, is he gonna be the same? So you have those like red flags, and you're looking at like all, like, you're just trust issues just kicking. But then, you know you just have to accept the fact that, like, okay, my next is going to be healthy. I'm looking for healthy, and when it is healthy, I'm going to take everything that I learned from my last relationship, and I'm going to make it 10 times better.
Since you've been through it, you have friends that have been through it, do you think it's a learning experience for teens to go through these relationships?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I go through this toxic state, like I can lose my job, I can mess up my career. If I had kids, like seeing them watch me go through that, I would rather go through it now, like as a kid, and I feel the pain now, and just learn from it now, because I don't think I could handle with my grown self.
So, since you're a part of the LGBTQ plus community, was it hard for you to come out to your parents, or have you come out to your parents?
So it was easier for me because my older sister is gay already, so she's like 30, or not 30, she's like 28. But I watched her in high school. She had a girlfriend, and my mom was very accepting of it. Like, of course, my mom was like, she's Catholic, and she was iffy about it at first, but my mom still wishes, like, my mom still till this day is like, I wish my sister like experienced more with guys, so she can have a family and stuff. But my mom was still very accepting because she saw that my sister was happy. So when I came out as bi, obviously, she was like, are you sure it's not because you saw your sister with a girl and you're just like confused, or like it's a phase, TJ, like for a while. But then I got into high school, and I sat down with her and I told her, look, I like girls. Like, I like this girl. I've been liking her for a while. And my mom met her and she loved her. So she was like, okay, TJ, if that's what you want to do, if it makes you happy, then okay. And she was saying, she was being dumb, and she was like, I prefer you with a girl because you don't have to get pregnant and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, but I know for some people, like I have friends that their parents literally kicked them out because of something so serious like that. But my parents were just very accepting and supportive.
And have you, or like anybody you've known, have been in like a relationship where it was difficult because they were a part of a community that their parents weren't really accepting about?
I have friends. I tried to be there as much as I could. But yeah, that, like, parents don't see how much that affects like us kids, because this is who we want to be. This is who we love, and like we feel like it should be love is love. But they see it because they're so traditional, and like they think like, oh, you're a girl, you're gonna be with a guy. And if they're not accepting, like obviously it's very hard for the mental state.
Yeah, I get that. Like parents these days, they're so much different from like their kids. A lot of people are like, you're gonna be exactly like your parents when you grow up, or you're gonna understand when you're a parent. It's like we grew up, or we grown up through a different time than them, and we start to understand things. Like we start to understand and things that parents just don't get, or like they're just too stubborn. to get, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like we're in a new world now that like we see everything online. We see like society and like all the standards, and they didn't have that back then. They didn't have the internet and blah blah blah. We learn more and like learn faster than they do, and so we're more accepting of it because we feel like what's right is right. But with them, it's just like, no, this is this, that is that.
Exactly, yeah.
Else.
Yeah, it's so like, I don't know, it just feels so
Toxic.
toxic because it's like I feel like it's like they're gaslighting you,
Yeah.
and like they always want to think they're right and that you're just a kid, you don't know any better, you're still in school, you're still learning.
This I can't even explain this, but okay, my parents are Filipino. I don't know if you guys know, like
Yeah, mine too.
traditional.
Mm.
Like my mom always wanted me to keep my hair super long. Like I got in trouble for cutting my hair, but we came to an agreement because my sister was diagnosed with bipolar depression, and like my sister was very my parents thought it was their fault because of how much they pressured her, because you know my sister was number one in the game. Like she played all the sports and was point guard, got a scholarship, she went to the Air Force, and like she was always number one in her class. But like she had she was in this relationship, and like her mental state was just not it. And you know she was trickling down, and my parents saw how much all that pressure affected her. So with seeing that, they didn't want that to happen to me. So we started communicating more, and like I'm talking to my parents and I tell them how I feel. And you know, even like not in a rude way, because you know they'll tell me something and I'll be like, look mom, like I know this is your way and I know this is how you do things and all of that, but you're making me feel like this. I feel like I can't talk to you. I want to talk to you. And like with other Asian, like especially Asian parents and like black parents, like they don't care. Like if it's their way, it's their way. So I'm grateful that I get to like talk to my parents and like have that communication. But with other families, like it's not always like that. And that's why it's so toxic. Like you should be able to talk to your kid and be like, yes, you can tell me anything, but just remember I'm your parent first.
Do you have anything to say to all the teens out there, whatever community they're in, whatever gender, sexuality, ethnicity they are in, religion that they're in, who go through relationships like these?
Um, just take it one step at a time. I know it's hard, and I know like you might feel like nothing's gonna get better, but it does. And it all starts with, you know, doing things for yourself. And like what you feel is right is right. And, you know, you're gonna go through a lot of things. You're still a teenager or whatnot. Like you're still young, so you're learning from your mistakes, but it all starts like as cheesy as it sounds, you cannot do anything unless you love yourself first and you put yourself first, because you need to get your priorities straight and all of that stuff for you to succeed in life. Like you can't put other people before you. You can't always give. Like you need to focus on yourself. And I think you know a lot of people hear that but they don't really comprehend it. So to everybody out there, just like want to say, just take it one step at a time. Like even if it's just looking in the mirror and just saying like I am enough, like I can do big things, and you know just affirmations, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
To yourself, just like do what you want to do, set your own goals, focus on yourself, and you know love yourself.
Should you think this topic should be like openly spoken about to like to just everyone, especially on social media, spread awareness about it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like honestly, you guys are the only people that I've seen on social media that talk about like teen like love and like relationships, cuz you know, it's I mean, obviously some people share their experience and all that stuff. But like an overall project, like I think that's so smart. I think people
Mm,
like even in school, I feel like they should talk about it and like, you know, because it all starts with students like mental health and like kids mental health, because if they're not mentally there, if they're not mentally like okay, then they're not going to succeed in school. They're not going to be focused on anything but that one toxic thing.
And I always hear stories coming left and right from my friends about their relationship and that, like, they want me to help them, even though I've never been in one. It's
Yeah.
like, I will always still be there to help you. Even if I don't understand, I will always try to.
Yeah.
Because, I want you to be happy and
Mhm.
I want you to thrive in the future. I don't want you to be down on yourself, because it's just not good. I know what it leads to. I've had friends that would just completely,
Yeah.
self-harm themselves because of these things.
Um,
And no matter like no matter what it takes for me to make them feel like, they're special, they're their own person, there's no one like them, I will do it because
yeah.
that's what friends do.
And that's good. And like, you don't have to go through that experience to know that things. And like just being there for someone, even if they do push you away, and like, because that's all they feel. They all, no matter how many people are with them, no matter how many people stand like with them, they're still gonna feel alone. They're still gonna feel like all this anxiety and all this stuff. So even if they do push you away, you still like try if you see something like that happen, because yes, it can lead to self-harm, it can lead to suicide, and I've seen that so many times. Like it's crazy how many of my friends I've seen like mentally drained. And yeah, and it's scary to like think that really a parent would disown their own child because
Mm-hmm.
of something like that, just because of something that makes their child happy but not them. And that's just it's crazy to me, because that's your child. Like you're supposed to
Mm-hmm.
love, support them through anything, and they haven't changed. They're still the person that you raised. If not, they're even better because they feel comfortable being themselves around you. So like parents that say those things like, oh, you like turned out right, or like,
Mm-hmm.
if you were gay, like I'd kick you out, like that that hurts me. That hurts me that our society is like that, and that and I'm glad that you guys are spreading awareness about that, because it has to be said that that's toxic. That's probably why like there's so many like mental health like problems in the world, because it all starts off, it somehow starts off with like household environment.
Need
same to
more
you.
information for this project or anything, we will go to you for sure.
Yes, thank you guys. Thank you. I had so much fun, and honestly,
Mm-hmm.
opening up about it again, like it was a breath of fresh air. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you guys.
Well,
Thank
thank
you
you so
so
much
much.
for being on Zoom.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll talk to you guys whenever.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank
I
Bye.
just want to thank you guys all for watching, and I want to thank the Teen Love Project, especially Jillian, Malia, and Erika, because what they're doing is so great. We just need more people like them to spread positivity, and I was so happy that I could be part of that. So, you guys, here is their Instagram. Everything will be in the description box, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I love you guys all. Bye, guys. Deuces.
Be anything you want, baby. Let me change your life. You ought to be